Amanda McGrory was just like any other 5-year-old kid. Running around, hanging with friends, enjoying life. Only to wake up one morning and realize it would be taken away so suddenly, and with no warning whatsoever.
The funny thing about October 19th, 1991 is that I remember it perfectly, like it happened yesterday. So I woke up about 9 o'clock in the morning as a 5-year-old kindergarten student, like any other day. Got up, brushed my teeth, went to walk downstairs, and as I started walking down the stairs, the muscles in my legs were really tight, but I couldn't fully straighten my legs, which is kind of a funny sensation. From the onset of the attack of transverse myelitis to the point where I was no longer able to walk was probably an hour, maybe 2 at most.
Something in Amanda's body had triggered a rare neurological disorder, the spinal cord, that affects just 1 in every 6 million people worldwide. 1/3 of those diagnosed with transverse myelitis make a good or even full recovery. However, Amanda would never regain the use of her legs again.
It would have been easier for me as a child to know that, oh, well, I fell out of this tree and now I can't walk. Or, oh, I was hit by a drunk driver and now I can't walk. But really it was, I got out of bed today just like I did yesterday, but only today I can't walk anymore. And that was really difficult to process.
Your whole life turns upside down. You don't know what's right anymore. You don't know what day it is anymore. It's just it's an emotional roller coaster because you still have that hope that, you know, tomorrow she's going to get up and walk, and then you have her asking you questions, what's going on, and you don't understand it. So how could a 5-year-old understand it?
The next 5 years of Amanda's life was torture. She was forced to attend a new school while trying to build a whole new set of friends. The McGrorys built a new home, one that was more handicap accessible. And at one point, Amanda's depression had grown so deep, she had to be fed through a tube.
It was a lonely place to be. I didn't know any other kids with disabilities, and my friends were outside playing hopscotch and riding skateboards and doing all those things that I used to do and no longer could.
It wasn't until a few years after her diagnosis, Amanda finally experienced a breakthrough. She connected with the Variety Club of Philadelphia, a nonprofit organization established to help children with disabilities.
Just going to camp and living on my own for 3 weeks and being independent at 7 years old was something that I didn't know that I was capable of doing. I didn't know that I was even able to make my bed anymore after my injury. And so that was a big thing. And also just the social aspect of it and meeting other kids with disabilities and seeing how they were creative and they would find ways to do things that I could do before my injury.
I still remember it, driving her home from the camp, and it was like a light bulb went off, and she said, "Dad, this isn't that bad. It's not as bad as what some of these other kids have to deal with every day. I can handle this." And from that point on, she just took off and never stopped.
If Amanda couldn't overcome this rare disease, then she was determined she would simply beat the competition. And racing was the spark.
Racing was always huge for me, and I think it's in my personality to never be satisfied with mediocrity. Even after my injury, I went through a really low point, but came out of that victorious, and I think that says something about my character as a person.
But at the age of 14, there were more health problems. Amanda was diagnosed with a severe case of scoliosis. It required a full spinal fusion, with metal rods keeping her backbone in place. The recovery took months, and doctors warned Amanda she'd probably never race again.
Amanda was the kind of kid that if you told her she couldn't do something, she would figure out a way to do it. She'd somehow figure out a way to accomplish the task, whether it's a lot different than the way you and I would do it, but she'd get it done somehow.
For the first 7 years that Amanda was confined to a wheelchair, she played sports just to maintain an active and healthy lifestyle. At the age of 12, she actually started to get competitive, playing wheelchair basketball and running races. That led to a scholarship to the University of Illinois. And now she's one of the best athletes in the world, a gold medal favorite for the Paralympic Games in London, England later this summer.
I never thought she would be where she's at. You know, the things that she's done in the last year, if you wrote them all down and read them, even, you know, sportscasters, announcers, anybody, they would read them and say, no, you can't do this kind of stuff.
It's a career decorated with 3 national championships as a member of the Illini's wheelchair basketball team, 22 marathon victories worldwide, and she's a 4-time Olympic medalist with a gold in the 5,000 meters. Accolades Amanda McGrory would have never achieved if she were still walking today.
I think that when people are faced with a challenge, a really, really big challenge, something life-changing, it can bring out the best in them. And if I were never forced to overcome the things that I have, to face the adversity that I have, I don't think that I'd be the person that I am today. And I think that it's something that I wouldn't give up, no matter what. If I could turn the clocks back 20 years and skip that day of my life,
You wouldn't do it?
I wouldn't do it.
If I could say, give me the medals, give me everything you've accomplished, here's 2 good set of legs, go live your life, you wouldn't go back and do it?
No, absolutely not. If I had the opportunity to start over and go back to that day, I think that I would live every moment of my life exactly as I have to this point again.